can start the presentation now. Okay,
Right.
go on.
Right. Good evening to all of you. Now, I am Mr. Parveen Kumar, associated with the RS applications. Now, I am going to start the presentations for RS RNO. Now, RS RNO is implemented in 5 different divisions: CKP, Kota, KPG, Sabalpur, and Asansol.
KGP.
KGP. Now, the RS-R4 has 4 different modules. First one is the master data. Second one is the rake allocations, rake allotment, and the reports. Reports for the different concern officials. The master data, rake allocation, and rake allotment, these 3 modules are very closely coupled to each other. First, starting with the master data is categorized into 2 categories. First one is the managed by the CRIS as per the railway direction. Second one is the railways divisional users and the EDRM office. Now, starting with ODR and major parameter. ODR days are defined Wednesday and Saturday in RS iron ore, which define that rake allotment system generate the allotment for these 2 days only ODR basis. Now, major parameters like intra-divisional quota, allocation pendency days, and month-end grace days for supplies are defined for the different parameters. First one, intra-divisional quota, 25 is defined for the CKP divisions. Now, this parameter defines that for a per day allotment, maximum 25 rakes are allowed in a division. And second one is the allocation pendency days. It is defined as when the allocations are generated in the system, the indent must be registered by the customer within the 90 days. If no indent will be registered, then allocation will be cancelled after 9 days. Now, second one is the last one is the grace days for the supply. It is the value is 2 days. It means for the current month, when the allotment is generated, then 2 days of the next month. It means second of the next month always be the supply date for each customers. This grace period is defined for CPT and normal customers. After the second of every month, the if rake is not supplied and allotted in the RAS, then allotment will be cancelled and demand will be freed. Now, next master data are handling capacity, station handling capacity, wire route capacity, and port destination quota. Station handling capacity defines the loading capacity and unloading capacity. Loading capacity defined monthly basis and categorized into C priority and D priority separately. Whereas unloading capacity are shared across the divisions. All the different divisions insert the unloading capacity separately, and when the allotment will be generated, the sum of all the unloading capacities defined in the master data must be accounted for the allotments. Now, the next is the wire handling capacity, which is the exit zone of the divisions defined in the RAS as a wire capacity, and that capacity is used for the allotment as a number of rake which can be allotted per day. Now, the next one is port destination quota, which is used for the export indents, and it is mandatory if any export indent to be allotted. If it is not defined in the system, then indent is not picked up for the allotment. Then you can say that port destination quota must be defined as well as in the as a unloading capacity in the station handling capacity. Now, here are the some screenshots for these one. First one is the port destination quota, station handling capacity, and wire route capacities. Now, the next master data is the customer rake requirement, which is the very important master data which has the base for the RAS, rake allotment system. In this master data, customer can be defined individual or a group of customers. And the rake requirement given by the customer is valid for a month only. And it is defined for the different sub priorities like CBT, CWIS, C normal, WIS, and WISD. WISE and WISD are the D priorities which comes under the D priority, and in CRR, customer rake requirement, the rake requirement is captured under only WISD. Now, for the C normal sub priority, loading station is not required, whereas for the other one like CBT and WIS, preferred loading station and destinations can be defined. Here as the screenshot shown for the master data customer rake requirement, the values can be put and insert in this form. Now, here we have some formula defined to calculate the CRR for per day basis, because as I have defined, the CRR is defined on monthly basis. Now we have to find out the CRR as a daily basis, which is known as the daily entitlement for a customer. That do some calculations as shown in the PPT, like the total CRR for a month, then you got total non-ODR days, which just you can say leave it all the Wednesday and Saturday, as I earlier told that Wednesday and Saturday are the ODR days. Then whole month all the ODR days minus from the total number of days in a month. Then remaining days are known as non-ODR days. And after that, you can say these using these calculations, daily entitlement for each customer is calculated, which is used to generate the allocation for a customer. That helps to generate the allocation, which is the base for the rake allotment systems. Now here in the RAS, there are two different priorities. One is the C-type priority, another is the D-type priority. C-type priority again classified into different sub-priorities. One is known as CBT, which again classified into 4 categories: CBPC, CBPG, CBGC, CBGG. And one is WIS, Wagon Investment Scheme, and NRML, normal. And under D priority, WISE and WISD has only the comes under the CRR. But any NDL or NDNL, these sub-priority are not used in the CRR. No CRR fitted for these sub-priorities. Therefore, we can say that when the rake allotment system use the sub-priority in the allotment order, some priority order is defined, which is shown in the given slide. CBPC has the highest sub-priority order. Then again, CBPC, WISC normal, and WISDN. After that, if there is no indent found for the concerned allocations, then any NDL or NDNL sub-priority can be allotted in non-ODR day also. Now, here in the slide, it is shown the RS allotment process. In this RS allotment, CRR customer rake requirement is the base from which the system generate the allocation plan, and it is closely related with the TMS, which used the outstanding indent fitted in the TMS. Also restrictions, constraint, RBS wire and forwarding note are applied to the allotment process. Now, starting with the rake allocations, as I told earlier, the customer rake requirement, which is fitted monthly, and daily entitlement is calculated for each customer. From that daily entitlement, rake allocation plan is generated by the RAS system for each customer, which is generally we can say that it is simply a rake entitlement for each customer, depend upon the CRR fitted in the system. And this allocation plan is generated for each sub-priority, which has the CRR only, not any NDL or NDNL we can say, because this sub-priority has no CRR. And rake allocation plan is generated for non-ODR days only, not for ODR days. It means if we have the 2 ODR days in a week, then we can say around 22 days in a month we have the non-ODR days, and allocation plan is generated only for non-ODR days. And when the first day the allotment in RS allotment is generated on the 6 date plus 2 basis, on the first day the system generates the 7 days allocations, and after that till the end of the month it completely maintains the 7 days allocation cycle in the system. And whenever a demand is cancelled in the TMS, it automatically cancels the concerned linked allocations and the allotment also. And we can say that if a customer is unable to register the indent against the generated allocation within the 9 days, as I told earlier, which is the major parameter. After the 9 days, that allocation will be automatically cancelled if no indent will be registered. Now we can say that if suppose a customer is comes in the mid months to feed the CRR, then corresponding allocations will be generated on pro rata basis, and allocation will be generated till the maximum date of the allocation, which has already generated for other customer in the allotment systems. And postmate allocation will be generated in the system, which exists in the system, you can say. Now the demands are linked to the allocation of the same months, WIS and WISD and WISE sub-priorities, and these linked allocations are being carried forward to the next one, which is only for WISD and E. But for CBT and normal sub-priorities, all the linked allocations are cancelled at month end, which are not allotted. Now here is the various states which are defined to generate the rate allocations in the RS process. It is N, X, Y, Z, P, A, P and C. This tagging is used to prioritize the rate allotment process. As in the next slide, in this slide we can say that X has the highest priority in the rate allotment process to pick the allocations. Y, then second, then Z, then P and N. As we can say that N is simply is the non-allotted allocations for the future date. P is the pending. Suppose allotment is going to generate today after next 2 days. Then for the 6th one, all the N becomes P where no indent found. If indent is found and due to some constraint these allocations are not allotted, then we can be marked as X, Y, Z, depend upon the sub priorities, whether WSD, WIC or the CBT, you can see. Now the outstanding demands and rate permit. We can say that outstanding demands which are registered in TMS, RS takes all the outstanding demands to process these indents as compared with the rate allocation, which is the process. Now, these outstanding indents can have the validity which can be linked to the rate permit. If rate permit is expired, then intent will be expired, and if rate is not supplied but that was allotted, then the corresponding rate allotment is also cancelled. Then it means we can say that allotted or allotment of the rate can be supplied before the expiring of the indents, depend upon the rate permit. There is a task available which is known as the advanced stacking or dumping that can be used the 1 day before of the expire of the indents, that can extend the 4 days from the expiry of date, and the allotment and supply can be recorded before form. Now starting with the rate allotment, there are 4 types of the allotment in RA system. First one is the non-ODR allotment, second is the ODR allotment, third one GPWIS, fourth one is the manual allotment. Now starting with the non-ODR, here is the some steps which define the how the non-ODR allotment is allotted. Non-ODR allotment, as we have defined the CRR in master data. Now starting with the master data, first the program captured on the monthly basis which is defined in the CRR. Then based on the CRR, allocation is generated monthly based on this monthly program, starting with the 7 days remains in the systems. Then after the allocation is generated, outstanding indents are captured from the TMS. Then after finding the outstanding indents, senior most allocation is compared with the senior most indent for the same customer. And if a match is found, then both are linked. And this allocation linked with the senior most indent, then different constraints are applied on this one and allotment process starts. If all the constraints are cleared, then the allotment taken place. Otherwise, the corresponding allocations is updated per the remarks depend upon the constraint field, whether it is the 3 times, whether it is the loading capacity exhaust wire capacity exhaust, depend upon the constraint allocations, corresponding allocation remarks is updated in the system. Here are the in this allotment process we have defined the constraints which are used in the allotment process like unloading capacity, loading capacity, wire capacity, 3 times sec or RBS wire, restrictions defined on the indents. These are the constraints which are applied on each and every indents, whether it is the non-ODR days or whether it is the ODR days. These constraints must be compiled and implemented to generate the allotment of any specific indent corresponding to the linked allocations. Now, here is a, as I earlier discussed, the order of allocation in the allotment process when I told about the allocations. These are the first, X has the highest priority. These are for the WS indents only. Then Y, which is due to the 3 times, and Z remaining all other constraints other than X and Y marked as Z. Then P is means no demand found. That allocation is marked as P. Now starting with X, the RS process all the allocations in this order. First X, then Y, then Z, P, and N. Now in the allotment process, the system process the generated allocations with the outstanding demands. I have earlier told also the senior most allocations for a customer is matched with the senior most indents. And after matching found, these constraints are applied. And after the clearing of these constraints, allotment is successfully generated. If it is not cleared, then corresponding remarks are updated in the allocations depend upon X, Y, Z, and P remarks. Now, starting with the capacities, as when I told about the station and link capacity defined as a C and D and unloading capacity. Now, how the rake allotment system process these capacities? Now, we have, I also told about the priorities and sub-priorities. There are 2 types of priorities, C priority and D priority. And similar these priorities, station and link capacity, loading capacity is defined. C loading capacity defined separately and D loading capacity defined separately. Now, when RS starts the generation of allotments, first C priority allocations use the C capacity only. When all the allocations are processed, if C capacity remains, then the remaining C capacity sums with the D capacities. And the sum of C remaining plus D used to allot the D priority allocations, WSD or WSE. If further if capacity remained, then we can say the C remaining plus D remaining of this. Again, we process the allocations of C priority. Second cycle will start and process the C priority allocations again and try to allot the allocations, linked allocations we can say. Then if allotment is done and again if some capacities remain, then the remaining of C and D, this sum used to allot the NE, NDL and NDNL. Depend upon the priority. NE has higher priority than NDL and NDNL. NE, NDL, NDNL with port has the same priority to allot any particular indents. So this particular we can say that how the C capacity and D capacity used and participate in the allotment process. This slide shows this one. Now, regarding the allotment of new ODR days, there are some key notes regarding this. That first, there is one factor is also that is the 600 kilometer scheme defined in the RAS. These 600 kilometer schemes defined within the sub priorities. We can say that in each sub priorities, two groups are categorized. One is more than 600 kilometer, one is less than 600 kilometer. Now 600, more than 600 kilometer group given the higher priority within the sub priority to allot any particular indents. In this process, we can say that the first more than 600 kilometer distance indents are processed first as compared with the less than 600. Moreover, we can say each day allotment is generated automatically by the RA system at 16 hours at IR level. Whether it is the ODR day or non-ODR day, allotment is generated at 16 hours daily. And before allotment process, the first day of the allotment, 7 days allotment generated, and after that, subsequent allotment day, 1 day allotment allocations will be generated to keep the 7 days allocations in the system. Now, after that, we can say that as I told earlier, that senior most allocation is compared with the senior most indents, and these are linked and applied the constraint to allot. Now, the linking and delinking of the CBT and normal. A swapping process is followed in third of the each month in the allotment process. As I told earlier, the non-supplied allotment of CBT and normal are lapsed or cancelled on the 2nd of each month at the midnight. And all the allocations of CBT normal got cancels and demand are freed. Now, because these freed indents are the senior most indent, so we have to keep the synchronization of senior allotment of senior most indents in the system. The allotment which are generated on the 1st of and 2nd of every month is this swapping process followed to swap these freed indents to the allotted indents. These freed indents are swapped to the allotted indents, and allotted indents are freed. This process or this task is implemented on the 3rd of at 16 hours. Now, after that, we can say that if allotment of CBT normal are cancelled, not supplied, as I told just now, to follow the swapping process. Now, starting with the second allotment process, which is known as the ODR process. This ODR allotment is purely based on ODR order, oldest date of registration. No allocations, nothing, just oldest intent will be picked up by the system, and by picking the indents, just you can say all the constraint which I told earlier, whether it is loading capacity, unloading capacity, wire capacity, and if any particular other constraint like 3 times pendency, these all the constraint applied on these indents, and if all the constraints are cleared, then the allotment is done by the system. If the allotted indent is already linked with the allocation, then a reconciliation is done for that particular allotment, and a corresponding allocation is updated for the C priority. Now, for the WIS link demand of previous month and unlinked of current month, these are eligible for the allotment on the ODR days. Now, next allotment is known as the GPWIS allotment. This allotment is purely on the outstanding demands registered by the GPWIS customer only. And again, it is the manual utility which is used for a specific date against the GPWIS registered indents. Authority details are mandatory as shown in the diagram. After feeding the authority details, then the generate allotment process generate the allotment for GPWIS rate. And once this allotment is generated, then same can be linked to the allocations for a customer if available in the system. Now the next one is the manual allotment. Manual allotment is again totally depend upon the outstanding demands registered by the railway. And again, it is similar like GPWIS, it is again allotted manually for a specific date only. And similar like GPWIS, authority details are mandatory and no constraints are considered for the manual allotment. Just as shown in the diagram, indents can be find out depend upon the station from station 2 and sub priority for a date, and any indent can be picked, authority details can be filled out and no constraint is applied, and simply the particular indent which is selected through the task is allotted. Now here are some other silent features for the RS/RNR applications. First is the FAS scheme. This FAS scheme, like the ODR days, Wednesday and Saturday, for the FAS scheme, Monday and Friday are the 2 days which are defined for this scheme. Under this scheme, again under the C and D priority, demands are classified into 2 parts. First one is the FAS demands for C priority. Second one is the FAS demand of D priority. And the allotment order is defined in a way such that FAS demand of C priority under the sub priority order, whether it is CBT, whether it is WIS or normal, allotted first. Then normal non-FAS demand of C priority under the same sub priority order will be processed. After that, third FAS demand of D priority under sub priority orders will be forced. After that, last one, normal non-FAS demand of D priority under sub priority will be processed. This task is already designed, developed and implemented, but due to there is no contract or a customer available, so no allotment is generated for this scheme in the systems. Now again, linkage with the TMS. In RAS, as I told earlier, RAS is very closely related with the TMS applications. Outstanding indents taken from the registered in the TMS taken by the RAS applications. Demand and forwarding note are registered in TMS by the railway user. Each demand is linked to a wire available in the RBS, and that RBS wire is again matched with the indents in RAS systems. If that match is found and that wire is available in RAS application, then demand is allotted, otherwise that is not allotted. Demand marked as restricted in the restriction being applied by the railway authority, that is bypassed by the RAS system if that indent is restricted by the TMS applications. And TMS supply is not allowed until the demand is not allotted by the RAS. That's where we can say that RAS and TMS applications are very closely related to each other. And here are the different reports defined for the different railway officials, which some ODR days, major parameter, core destination quota, station and link capacity, wire route capacity, customer rake requirement, rake allocation plan, tentative allotment order, which define the tentative allotment order for any rake allocations. We can say rake allotment plan, allotment summary, which define the loading data and unloading data and port data and wire data. All the data is available in this report depend upon the capacity used by the RAS system in a particular day of the load. Outstanding indents registered in the TMS and outstanding demands with the non-allotment regions. In this way, we can find out that particular demand is, why particular demand is not allotted, then we can use this report that describe each and every region for all the demands which are not allotted in RAS. And another is demand with allotment history. This report is again very important in terms of if a demand is registered 10 days before and allotted today, then this report gives the complete history for last 10 days, why it is not allotted, why all the regions given defined in these reports, and the red marks put in the rake allocation plan and rake allotment plan and outstanding demand. These three reports are also available for public user on the FIRES portal. These are the screenshots for the reports as I discussed earlier. ODR days, major parameters, station and link capacities, and for destination quota, via route, user log detail. This report particular gives all the details user logged in the RA system, whether he will insert the master data or is going to do any task in the RS that is already logged, and we can use this report to see the activities done by the user. And CRR, tentative order of the allocations, rake allotment plan, and the last and not least, we can see demand with allotment history. Here, just you can see that all the allotment history given for an indent which is not allotted given in this report. Now there are some MIS reports are also available which are used by the railway officials very efficiently. First one is the station-wise loading reports, loading performance, station-wise loading terminal performance, station-wise detailed terminal performance, loading from station against customer, allotted supplied cancel demands, demand registered cancel supplied, loading summary, cumulative allotment summary, summary of confirmed loading statement, manual allotment, cancel due to expiry. All these reports are very useful to provide the details of the indents in terms of the RS allotment as well as TMS allotment and supply. These reports give the complete scenario from the registration of the demand to the allotment to the supply, and count regarding with the particular, if we can see for a particular station, for a particular port, and if we want to see the cumulative data, that is also available from these reports. Now, this was the complete details about the RS RMOs. Now I am going to hand over this presentation to Mr. Rajesh Tiwari for the rake allotment system for coal. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rajesh Tiwari, and I'll take you further in the presentation related to rake allotment related to coal. Just a second. Yeah, just there is some technical issue. Just bear for a second, please. Okay, so far we have understood the rake allotment system, which is related to iron ore, and we have understood that it is a completely automated process which takes place normally at every day at 16 hours. Now, as far as rake allotment system related to coal is concerned, this is the system which basically has to be done by our divisional users, and the rake allotment is explicitly given by the users. So we will have a close look at these. what are the different important tasks and modules which are available in this particular application, and then we will understand the brief details about it. So broadly, if we try to understand, this rake allotment system for coal is broadly divided into 4 different components. The first one is the master data component. Second one is the rake allotment module. Third one, which we are showing as the add-on features, which are basically different tasks, or we can understand like the important functionalities which are closely associated to the rake allotment process only. And then there are different reports which are very useful for our users. Now, one by one, we will understand like what is it related to. Now, the first one is the master data. So basically here we are just depicting like what all entities are important in our system for the whole allotment generation process. So here we can see that all these entities, they are like managed within the system as data, but this data is provided by our railway users, precisely by divisional users. And then these things like the sponsors, coal fields, coal pilots, coal priorities, and coal class. These are some major important entities which are associated in the allotment generation process for coal. Now, I'll just briefly explain what all these are. So sponsors are basically the coal companies which basically provide the offers, and then they are supposed to endorse the customer programs. These are basically the programs which are registered through the e-demand application. And further, these particular programs need to be endorsed by these sponsors. So basically, these are the coal companies. They could be the coal companies which are under CIL, Coal India Limited subsidiaries, and they could be other than this also. Second one is the coal field. Coal field are basically the logical divisions of coal areas, we can understand like that. And then these coal areas are owned by the sponsors only. So here in the system, the coal fields, we just keep them in relation to the sponsors always. So coal fields are, we can understand like coal fields are owned by sponsors. Then the third thing is the pilots. Pilots are basically the loading stations, and these loading stations or sidings, they are again associated closely with the sponsors, and when they are always mentioned in relation to the coal fields, some coal fields. So we have a mapping. We have a mapping of data in terms of master data only, where we keep this relationship of sponsors, coal field, and pilot within our system. The fourth thing is coal priority. So here the coal priority basically means the category of the particular program. This is like the category of the program which we need in our system, so that we can understand various aspects, like whether that particular program is a lapsable program or a non-lapsable program, which entirely depends on the category of that particular program, which has been mentioned at the time of coal program registration within the e-demand application. Then there is a coal class, which is just an attribute of the coal, which the user mentions during the program registration process only. Now, once we have all this data in the system, then only we can further take it towards the rake allotment generation process. Now, these are the various interfaces which we have provided within our RAS application. And the divisional users can just feed this data through the respective interfaces like we have for the sponsors in the coal fields. Once these sponsors and coal fields are in place, they can associate these sponsor and coal fields by providing them in the interface being provided for the pilots. Because during the pilot, when they are entering the pilot, they have to mention the particular coal field and sponsor during the data feeding process only. Now, this particular interface is for priorities, which I have explained, like these are the categories. So we need to have a master of categories, program categories, what all categories do we have in our system. And this is for the coal classes, the available coal classes. Now we will try to understand how the rake allotment for coal is actually taking place right now in the RAS application. Now, as I already explained a bit on this, that this particular program rake program allotment generation process, basically what is happening here, it differs from the iron ore process because it is done by the divisional users, and the divisional users basically are they are just mapping the demands, whatever the demands have been there, they are mapping with the allotment in this for the respective allotment. For example, suppose they have a set of demands with them, and then they can just have a look on those particular set of demands or offers also. I'll just come to that point, and then through this interface which we have provided within this application, they can give allotments corresponding to those demands. Now, as this slide shows that we are capturing allotment against e-offer and e-demand. So I'd like to briefly explain what is an e-offer and what is an e-demand. Now, when we talk about e-offer, so as I told that the offer or demand that was being registered by the consigner through the e-demand application. Now, based on what type of traffic is that and what type of sponsor was there within the program, that consigner or sponsor basically registers either an e-offer or a e-demand, which entirely depends on this logic that whether that particular sponsor was a CIL sponsor or it was a non-CIL sponsor. Because in case of CIL sponsor, the system just gives it a facility to register an e-offer only, not an e-demand. And for other non-CIL sponsors, the facility of e-demand is being provided within the e-demand applications. Once those e-offers or e-demands are in the system, they are available here within RAS for further rake allotment process. Now, in case of e-offer, there is one extra concept or feature we can say, which is like a cluster. A cluster is associated. A concept of cluster is there. It is just a flexibility given to the customer that they can while at the time of loading, they can load the rake from any of the pilots or sidings which are available within that cluster, right? So here it can be done fine. So till that point when they were registering their offer, they were doing it with that cluster code only. But at the time of rake allotment, precisely they have to give the pilot within that cluster again which they want to do the loading. So that's where the offer is always allotted against any specific pilot within that cluster. Now, in case of normal e-demand, so it is not required and the allotment is done directly against that e-demand. So one thing I would like to highlight here, that this particular concept of e-offer and for non-CIL sponsors, if we say precisely, it is e-demand. So all of this is happening for priority C traffic, because we are dealing with two types of traffic within RAS code. One is for priority C, which is the program traffic, and another is the priority D traffic, which is the non-program traffic. Now, once this allotment has been given, in case of e-offer, the physical TMS demand is actually registered within the TMS, and then the demand registration process completes. So that particular demand comes into place and it is visible in the TMS, which can be further taken forward for the supply and all. Now, this is basically the interface through which our users, they can give the allotment against e-offer or e-demand. This is particularly for program traffic only or priority C traffic only. Now coming on to the priority D traffic. So from here, this interface actually for a certain allotment date, divisional users, they can provide the pilot or booking station, and then they can look for all the available indents on that pilot, and again whichever indent they want to allot, they can generate the allotment corresponding to those indents. And this is purely for demands, because in priority D traffic, there is just demand. The demands are there, and there is no e-offer concept. Now coming on to the allotment confirmation task. Basically, this task again deals with the priority C traffic only, because for a certain day when the allotment has been done or finished for that particular day, the divisional users, they confirm that allotment for a certain sponsor or a tool field for that particular allotment date. And during that allotment confirmation process, they are presented with all the offers which are available, for that particular date. And they have got a facility to select or unselect those offers. If they want to carry them forward for a later further date, they can check all those respective offers, or otherwise, if they don't want, they can uncheck it and the system automatically cancels those offers and they are not available for further date. And if they intend to do so, they can just carry them forward. So it is task only. So this is just for program traffic. And once the allotment has been confirmed, the system doesn't allow any divisional user to do allotment for that particular date after this task has been done. Now coming on to the add-on features, which are basically related to the rake allotment process only. So first thing is, like, we have a task which is supposed to be related to indent, and those indents which are required to be kept under abeyance. So basically this task was designed so that we could prevent the allotment or supply of some specific indents due to some reasons which the railway has given. They don't want to give the supply corresponding to those indents. So this is a facility through which they can report such indents and they can be kept under abeyance by giving the proper authority details and all. And once those indents are ready to be supplied or allotted, they can revoke those indents using the same task only. Then this is a task of cross-loading, which is basically related to, again, allotment only. So in case of program traffic, and specifically for customers which has a facility, they have a facility of e-offer. So basically what they do, like since they have a facility of cluster, due to some reasons, if they are not able to do the loading from a specific pilot, so what they can do, they can choose another pilot out of that cluster, and then they can try to generate another new allotment. So the system, what will the system do? It will just generate a new allotment after cancelling out the previous allotment, and a new allotment will be generated and a new demand will be registered against that particular new pilot which they have chosen. So that's why we call it a cross-loading task, and then it generates a new allotment for that. Now, one thing important was there, that this facility is just for ELC category programs. It is precisely for this particular whole category program. Now coming on to the advanced supply. Again, the advanced supply is again in terms of the advanced allotment. This is for in the scenarios where there's customer has to give the allotment, but there could be a possibility that they don't have programs in the system, and they have to give the allotment. So what the divisional users can do, they can directly give the allotment through this task, and once the allotment has been given, an indent can be later on registered in the system. Now, once the indent is placed for that particular pilot in the system itself keeps on checking for the indent, and the moment it is able to find an eligible indent, it links that particular indent with that particular. And later on in this process, that particular allotment needs to be linked with a program, which can further be done by the user through this linking task, which is again available within the rake allotment system, the program linkage task. Now let's have a look on the reports which are there. Now there are a few of the reports. They are precisely for the master data, and then the other reports are again related to the task which we have already discussed. And let us have a look. And there are few reports which we have available on the Voice portal also. Now here the sponsors, coal fields, pilots, priorities. These are again the data which is available with us in the system as a master data. And then this is again the report which is available for abeyance revoke against intent. And the program details are there, the offer details. And then these are two major reports which is showing the allotment order for program traffic as well as non-program traffic. And this is for supply allotment for supply, which are just waiting for supply. And this is a report which is showing us the log detail, who all users have logged and at what time. These two reports, which we have on the public portal also, they deal with the area of allotment, and basically the area is being shown in terms of oldest date of registration. And if the user wants to see the area allotment for more than 30 days, then this particular second report we have there in the system, which shows the data accordingly. Now, this was all from my side. Thank you very much. Now, we are open for the questions.
और उसमें स्टेशन में रिपोर्ट स्टेशन प्रोफाइल को मिला के स्टेशन डिटेल्स का रिपोर्ट कर रहे हैं कहाँ है ना एक बता दो प्रोफाइल रहने को उसका नाम चेंज करो.
We can invite question and answer. Satya?
Yes, sir.
We can invite question and answer now.
Yes, sir. Sir, open for it. Prabhat? Is there any question and answer mentioned by the participants?
No one is raising their hand.
I would request participants to raise. Somebody's mic is disturbing. Hello. We can request the participants to raise the questions. They can raise their hand and we can select and unmute them. Prabhat?
Yes,
Prabhat? Lakshmi Upadhyay. Unmute her.
Please ask your question, Mr. Upadhyay.
हाँ, गुड इवनिंग सर.
हाँ बोलिए.
सर, हमारे 2-3 इश्यूज हैं. मैं धनबाद डिवीजन से बोल रहा हूँ. आरएस पोल के रिगार्डिंग मुझे 2-3 इशू हैं सर.
हाँ बोलिए.
हेलो सर, सबसे पहला इशू है ये जो पार्टी ऑफर सबमिट कर रहे हैं उस समय की अगर वो रजिस्टर्ड नहीं हो पा रही है ड्यू टू एनी एरर्स राइट ओटीपी, और जब वो अलॉटमेंट शीट पर हमारा वो टाइम डिनोट सबमिट हो रहा है तो वो सबमिशन टाइम आ रही है, रजिस्टर्ड टाइम नहीं आ रही है, जिसके कारण सर हमारे यहाँ डिस्प्यूट खड़ा हो रही है. क्योंकि कोल कंपनीज का कहना है कि उन्होंने ऑफर सबमिट किया हुआ है, लेकिन ओटीपी के कारण अगर वो रजिस्टर्ड नहीं हो रही है तो उनका शाम को अगर वो रजिस्टर्ड कर रहे हैं तब तक मैंने अलॉटमेंट सबमिट कर रहे हैं तो उनका वो क्लेम कर रहे हैं कि मैंने ऑफर दिया हुआ है. तो ये आरएस में सर जो टाइम एंड डेट ऑफर का होना चाहिए वो ओटीपी रजिस्टर्ड के बाद होनी चाहिए, ना कि ऑफर सबमिशन का होना चाहिए.
ओके अजय जी सत्या सानिग्राही
सर
इसमें क्या होता है कि जैसे ई डिमांड हमारा एक 2 स्टेप प्रोसेस है, उसी हिसाब से ई ऑफर भी जो है एक 2 स्टेप प्रोसेस है, जिसमें कस्टमर पहले रजिस्टर करता है ऑफर और फिर उसको कंफर्म करता है ओटीपी देके. तो दोनों अलग अलग टाइम होते हैं हमारे पास, लेकिन ऑफर तभी मानी जाती है एक ऑफर जब वो कंफर्म हो चुका है कस्टमर के थ्रू. तो अगर आप स्पेसिफिक रिपोर्ट में बोलें तो हम वहाँ पे दोनों टाइम दिखा सकते हैं कि उसने ऑफर रजिस्टर कब किया था और कंफर्म कब किया था, हम दोनों दिखा सकते हैं.
सर वो जरूरी है इसलिए कि सर इसके लिए क्लेसेस बहुत बढ़ रहे हैं. ऑफर अगर ननपुर सेक्टर के लिए उन्होंने अगर ऑफर दे रहे हैं और ड्यू टू एनी रीजन अगर वो ऑफर अलॉटमेंट नहीं हो पा रहा तो देन पार्टी गो टू द कोर्ट. ऐसा 1-2 केसेस हमारे यहाँ
नहीं वो ठीक है. देखिए वो सिस्टम में आपको स्क्रीन पे नहीं दिख रहा है, बट सिस्टम में हमारे पास सारा डेटा अवेलेबल है. आप कौन से स्पेसिफिक स्क्रीन में वो डेटा दोनों टाइम देखना चाहते हैं वो डिटेल्स के साथ हमें भेज दीजिए, हम उसको इम्प्लीमेंट वो वहाँ पे डिस्प्ले कर देंगे. हम उसमें डिस्प्ले कर देंगे, कोई इशू नहीं है।
ओके, थैंक यू
थैंक
सर।
यू।
सेकंड इशू है सर, मेरे पास 2-3 इशू है सर, मेरे प्रॉब्लम को जरा सुन लिया जाए सर। द
हाँ
सेकंड
जी, हाँ जी,
इशू इज
बताइए।
सर, सेकंड इशू हो रही है कि अगर सर हमारा प्रोग्राम सैंक्शनड है, इफ पार्टी का कोई ऑफर नहीं, अलॉटमेंट अगेंस्ट द सैंक्शन प्रोग्राम हो रही है, ठीक है सर। तो उस डेट को हमने एडवांस अलॉटमेंट सैंक्शन प्रोग्राम के अगेंस्ट में देके एक रिलीज और अदर फॉर्मेलिटीज पूरा आरआर जनरेट हो गया। नाउ जब सारे पार्टी के ऑफर लगने के बाद जो एक्स्ट्रा प्रोग्राम 10% सैंक्शन बच जाते हैं, उसके अगेंस्ट में कोल कंज्यूमर्स फिर प्रोग्राम ऑफर नहीं लगा पा रहे हैं। वंस अगर उसमें एक मैनुअल अलॉटमेंट हो जाती है तो एक्स्ट्रा प्रोग्राम फिर वो यूज नहीं कर पाते हैं। अभी ये सेम केस अभी मैंने अभी 4 दिन पहले 31 को मैंने प्रवीण जी को ये केस उठाया था और ये प्रवीण ने इस केस को देखा भी था सर।
ओके, ठीक है, मैं एक बार प्रवीण से भी डिस्कस कर लूंगा इसके बारे में।
ठीक है सर।
फिर हम आपको डिटेल्स बताते हैं।
थर्ड एंड द लास्ट इशू है सर।
हाँ जी
सर, थर्ड एंड द लास्ट इशू सर, इसमें मेरी एक प्रॉब्लम हो रही है कि जो सर पार्टी का सर एक्सपेक्टेड लोडिंग आज का, अगर एक दिन में हमने 2 दिन का थर्सडे एंड फ्राइडे को 2 दिन का ऑफर लग रहा है, एक्सपेक्टेड लोडिंग उन्होंने लगा दिया। तो सर जो अगर हमने अलॉटमेंट कंफर्म कर दिया तो जो एक्सपेक्टेड लोडिंग है वो क्या हो रहा है कि सर वो रोल बैक होकर नेक्स्ट डे के लिए ऑटोमेटिक सिस्टम कन्वर्ट कर दे रहा है। वो सर एक्सपेक्टेड लोडिंग चेंज होनी चाहिए सर। हेलो,
आपका कहना है कि जो उसने ऑफर में एक्सपेक्टेड लोडिंग डेट दिया था, अगर उस दिन अगर उसका अलॉटमेंट नहीं हो पाया, जब हम उसको कैरी फॉरवर्ड कर रहे हैं ऑफर को नेक्स्ट डे के लिए, तो एक्सपेक्टेड लोडिंग डेट वही मेंटेन रहे जो ऑफर के टाइम पे उसने दिया था?
राइट सर, जी सर।
लेकिन उसने जो ऑफर आपको किया था वो आज का डेट का ऑफर किया था उसने
सर। उसमें क्या हो रहा है कि सर अगर हॉलीडेज के दिन 3 दिन या 4 दिन का जो ऑफर हो रही है, तो वो क्या हो रहा है कि सर जब उन्होंने ऑफर को अगर मैं एक दिन को कंफर्म कर दिया और 3 दिन का बच गया तो वो सारा का सारा कन्वर्ट होके वो नेक्स्ट डे के लिए चला जा रहा है।
नहीं, कंफर्म तो आप डेट बाय डेट करते हैं ना जी?
सर देखिए सर, मैंने अगर मान 3 दिन का मैंने आज अलॉटमेंट हो रही है, सपोज कर रहा हूँ।
हाँ।
आज अगर वो 6 तारीख का अगर उसने लगाया, 7 तारीख का लगा, 8 तारीख का लगाया, तो जैसे ही मैं 6 तारीख का कंफर्म कर रहा हूँ, सारे ऑफर का एक्सपेक्टेड लोडिंग नेक्स्ट डे के साथ में चला जा रहा है। 8 और 9 दोनों का भी साथ में आ जा रहे हैं ना।
अच्छा, जो फ्यूचरिस्टिक है वो भी एक्सपेक्टेड लोडिंग डेट चेंज, आप ये कह रहे हैं?
हाँ जी सर जी, जो 8 और 9 का है वो भी साथ में आ जा रही है।
ठीक है, वो हम चेक कर लेंगे, अगर ऐसा कुछ हो रहा होगा तो हम उसको सॉल्व कर देंगे। थैंक यू।
थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू। उपाध्याय जी, आप अपना माइक म्यूट कर दीजिए।
नेक्स्ट प्रभात।
नो सर, कोई नहीं है भेजना।
अच्छा, कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं और?
कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं है।
टेक्स्ट भी देख लो एक बार, किसी ने चैट में डाला हो कोई क्वेश्चन?
नहीं, उसमें भी नहीं है सर।
ओके, देन आई सत्या, देन वी कैन क्लोज।
ये सर, अगर कोई क्वेश्चन है या कुछ नहीं है तो हम क्लोज कर सकते हैं।
ठीक है, so with this I thank all the participants, and in addition to that, if some queries are still there, like Mr. Upadhyay has raised some, nobody else has raised, if there are some queries you can write to us, and I thank all the participants, and the video will be released on a YouTube channel, and we will share the link, so you probably will be able to get that link. There you can see this video and again go through the presentation. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Satya. Thank you, Praveen. Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.